So we've talked a bit about organisational Facebook pages. I'm just going to go into a bit more detail here. So if you're a business or an organisation, you can only have a Facebook page, not a personal profile. And as Misha said earlier, you have to have a personal profile to create or manage an organisational page. So the best way to think of a page is like a mini website. So the goal of it is to promote and support the activities of your organisation. So what a page does is it allows you to build a following without having to friend people. So you can get people to follow you who don't know you. So if you look at the Good Exchanges page, we've got lots of people following us who are interested in what we do, but they're not people that we know or we've ever met. So people who are interested in your organisation, then they can like your posts and follow your organisation. You can also run adverts and contests on your page, and we're going to talk a bit about adverts later. And there are quite sophisticated analytics through Facebook Business Manager and on a Facebook generally to look at the success and results of what you're doing on your organisation's page. You have to have administrators who have the authority to create and manage a page and to put information on the page. So while you manage it through your personal Facebook account, it's completely separate. When you create a page from your personal account, no one can see that you're an admin of that page. So don't worry that your personal account and your Facebook page for your organisation are going to get muddled up because they're kept completely separate. And I'll put a link here to some help.
We have a question, can you grow meaningful interaction without sponsoring posts? Algorithms have meant that smaller charities really struggle to achieve meaningful interaction. So this is about what Facebook shows people in their newsfeed and being selective, and do we have to boost posts in order to really get a good audience coming through? Now we are going to cover boost posts a little bit later in the webinar, but you can still achieve obtaining a wide audience just with making sure that you have a presence on your page every day, even if that's using scheduling posts, which we will cover a bit later. Just trying to get something out every day, maybe 2 or 3 posts a day at least, to try and keep your audience and build that up. And then of course what we'll cover later is you can use tagging and things like that in order to kind of gain an audience. So you can do it, and boost posts is just an extra thing to help with widening your audience.
Thanks, Misha. So there are 6 roles in a typical Facebook page. Now, you don't have to have all of these. We don't have all of them. We've only got administrators, and when we all do all of it. So don't look at this and think, oh, I haven't even got 6 people, nor have we. So we all do everything. But so the administrator can do everything. They can manage the roles, create posts, send messages, respond to comments. So if you've only got a couple of people in your organisation who are going to look after the page, I would just suggest making them administrator. In bigger organisations, you might want people who are just responsible for managing your adverts, for example, or you might want a moderator. If you get a lot of comments coming in, you might have someone who looks at your comments. So, but I would recommend that you have at least 2 people who've got admin responsibility, because if somebody goes on holiday or leaves, you might find that you don't know you can't log in to your Facebook page. So it's always worth having 2 people, even if the other person doesn't actually use the page. At least they would have a login and you'd be able to get in case there was an emergency. So what does a typical Facebook organisation page look like? So here's a screenshot of the Good Exchanges page. So you can see here, this is our username. And again, if you haven't got a Facebook organisation page, the previous webinar that we mentioned talks about how to set up your organisation name, how to create your page. Here's the menu, the navigation menu that you see on the left-hand side. So what Facebook does is it tailors what it gives you here based on what it thinks is right. So, for example, the category that you're in and the activity that you do. This is what's called your cover. And I'm going to talk a little bit in a minute about how you can change your cover and how you can put images on your cover and that sort of thing. Here is what's called the top of your timeline. So you can see if I want to write a post, all I need to do is log in, go to the timeline, and I come right here, and you can see, because this is our logo, part of our cover, I can see that I'm writing this post as the Good Exchange rather than as me. So it's very clear who you're writing your post as, making a video and all those things. Here is the call to action button. So this button here for us links to the Good Exchange website, but Misha's going to talk a bit about how you can edit your call to action button to point to your fundraising page on the Good Exchange. This is where you can see posts that you've drafted and scheduled to come out at a later date. This is, again, Facebook's algorithm looking at what your organisation does and suggesting groups that you might want to join, which again helps all with your visibility, your following, and what appears and what Facebook chooses to show your friends and followers. So just carrying on with your organisation page, I talked about story when I was talking about the terminology. So you can see here, this is where you write about what your organisation does, who you are and what you stand for. Here on your page is your statistics. So you can see that we've got 1,007 likes and we've added 4, and we've got 1,114 organisations, people following us. You can see how post reach and all those things. So that's quite a good way of looking at sort of the instant analytics of your page. Here at the top is our pinned post. So this is something that we want people to see first. And Misha's going to talk about how to pin a post a bit later in the webinar. And again, I talked about insights and having to go into Business Manager, but Facebook does give you a summary of insights on your Facebook page. So you can see here for our pinned post, it's telling us how many people were reached, how many people engaged with it, i.e. clicked on it, and it's giving us an option here to boost that post, i.e. pay to advertise it to reach more people.